So that's the one of the transportation workers union bosses. I see him sometimes around the Stanley Ferry, and ever since I've been criticizing this Trump, I've been experiencing violence, and even one of his former lawyer Cohen said he's a killer. He has killers all around the world. As I was criticizing Trump in 2019, I got the news that my father was killed in Nigeria. And this Trump has spoken about something relating to that. After he tried to hit me with his car, close to 2014, in Manhattan on Fifth Avenue, somebody lured me to go to Manhattan Fifth Avenue stand in front of his mansion. They said there's a group that's going to bring food for us homeless. I went and stood in front of this Trump's mansion, and then he arrived soon afterwards in his car, and they tried to run me over with his driver. And people were screaming, "That's Trump trying to hit you with his car," And then this Trump made a boast to the press that he could shoot somebody from Manhattan, and nobody would know his name, will get away with it on Fifth Avenue. I didn't know at that time my father was getting shot with injections for his pain in Nigeria. So apparently everything about me is being made public since I was put in immigration prison in 2000. My mother brought me from Nigeria. So they said once you put you in immigration proceedings in this country, the FBI will forever investigate you, put you on surveillance forever. So they said this Trump is close to the FBI, and they always snitch, to him about people. Prior to this, I had gone to Trump's hotel in New Jersey, because the police took my home in New York. And around 2011, I went to Trump's hotel in New Jersey, and all of a sudden, I was registered I was gambling in the casino, and I went to use the bathroom. And as soon as I came out of the bathroom, this hotel staff called the police to kick me out of his hotel. I was like, what is going on? Why are you all humiliating me? As I'm going to sue you and Trump. This is discrimination. And before that, the police had removed me from my home in New York, and my mother went on WB11 and called the NYPD terrorists for removing us from our home without the court papers. So one of the NYPD commissioners is friends with Trump, Bernard Kerik, and he immediately responded in that 2010 when the police took me and my mother's home on Staten Island wrongfully. He responded that some people are losers that live in basements with their kid. With that statement was apparently referring to me and my mother, when he told the press that. Then I filed a lawsuit against the police. I talked with Eric Garner in 2014. I said it was going to help me. And the police went and took Eric Garner dead. Close to my birthday in July 2014. And like a year later, my mother was living in Pennsylvania with her daughters because the police took me and my mother's home on Staten Island. And she said her daughters were trying to kill her in Pennsylvania also because they felt they could win money by killing her and getting money as inheritance money. Because of the way the police took me and my mother's home. Because our daughters wouldn't have been entitled to any money because they weren't living in New York with me and my mother. The daughters, Balani and Fra, was living in Pennsylvania. And another daughter, my mother has, Funke, was living in Nigeria. But my mother said all of those daughters were into some scams and fraud, and she doesn't want them in her life. But she was forced to live with those daughters in Pennsylvania because after the police took me and my mother's home on Staten Island, she didn't have a place to stay. She didn't want to be on the street. So she went to Pennsylvania and said that one of the daughter Bolani was poisoning her food with counterfeit poison, which was giving my mother bloody diarrhea. And I was making my mother's heart race, like she's about to have a heart attack. And was making my mother nauseous. So my mother got on the ground to come back to the hospital. And when she got here, she was starting to feel better. And they said that Bolani and Flora showed up and was telling the hospital to lock my mother up in the psych ward just to trigger my mother to have a heart attack. Like that, like the poison that Bolani was giving my mother, counterfeit poison, was to trigger a heart attack. And when they saw that poison didn't kill my mother fast enough, so they came to the hospital and my mother said they were trolling her. I was talking to my mother on the phone, and she told me that those were trolling her. It's like she doesn't understand why they're acting so weird, like they just wanted to kill her. And so the hospital said they were going to just discharge my mother. But the daughter said that she locked my mother up in the psych ward. And when my mother heard about this, my mother collapsed and died. So they were able to trigger my mother to have a heart attack. So I told the hospital I wanted a autopsy, and they said both the daughters said no. So they had known what they had done to my mother, and they said no, they don't want an autopsy. They don't want the cause of death to be known. Which was weird. So around that time also, a pastor in Nigeria, me and my mother used to go to his church to pray, the synagogue church. Pastor Joshua put a video online that if anybody should die in that 2015, we should pray to God to resurrect the person. That, that some people are going to die, but God doesn't want them to die, and God is going to raise them up. So I went to the medical examiner's office. I want to pray to raise my mother up, and I was met with hostile resistance. They told me no, they don't allow prayers in America. This was in May 2015 when my mother was killed, May 2015. And a month later, like to taunt my mother, like this Trump wanted to run me over with his car, tried to hit me with his car, kicked me out of his hotel, where I went to gamble. And as soon as he heard my mother died in May 2015, a month later, June 2015, he said he's going to run for president also, and he was coming down the golden escalator, like was marking the way the Manhattan medical examiner would let me pray for my mother to rise up. And they said he was coming down the golden escalator saying he's going to run for president. Even Hillary said that she was in shock because she was Trump's friend, and Trump was supporting Hillary, a Democrat, to run for president. Said Trump never expressed any interest to run for president, in that, especially for that period. So she was in shock when this Trump, suddenly decided, as soon as my mother died, a month later, said he was running for president. And they said the Russians also was looking for people, anyone that could run for president, and they wanted to steal the election for the person because Obama put a ban on Russian adoptions by Americans of Russian kids, and said these Russians wanted the Russian kids to be adopted by American parents because they were thinking these children would be used as assets later on for spy work, because these kids will still try to reconnect with Russia, and then they can easily tap in that these kids will grow up in America and will speak American English, so they can then reconnect with these kids when they're older, the Russian government, and use them as spies. So they said Russia put a ban on Russian adoption. So, and Trump was the number one nemesis Obama had. Trump would always lie that Obama wasn't born in America. He was trying to pull Obama's government down. So I believe, this Trump got motivated, allegedly, to contact Russia, to see if they can help him. And while he was taunting my mother by declaring he's running for president, and was coming down the golden escalator, and they said when he won, somebody wrote a book that he was so afraid when he won. He said, oh shit, that he wanted to quit. He resigned immediately. He said, he's going to be under investigation for all the things he did in the past, and he's going to be in real trouble. They said it was very sad when they discovered he won the election. So apparently people still believe the Russians played a trick on the American computer system to give Trump the electoral vote, college vote. And when the Democrats appointed special prosecutor, they said Trump was hiding the computer from the prosecutor. So the prosecutor said Trump is not cooperating, he's not turning over his personal computer allegedly or something like that. So Trump said that the investigation is inconclusive and declared obstruction of justice. So there was a vote to impeach Trump. He was impeached twice, but they didn't have enough votes to remove him. So now that he's back in office again, he's been inciting violence, saying that he wants there to be a UFC fight in the White House. There's a big park in the White House and there needs to be a fight. Apparently at the Staten Island Ferry where I normally go, there's a park there, and there's some workers from the Statue of Liberty workers. They always try to engage me in the fight. They're black Americans, and they just try to fight. We call them a nigger, walk faster as I'm walking. After I go to the Staten Island Ferry to use the bathroom there, and they tell me to walk faster just to throw me. So I believe this Trump believes as the president he can order assassination of anybody and pardon the people that carry out. So he's very afraid of coming out of the White House a second time around, and me being around to testify against him. Because in 2019, my father dropped, they said he went to get injection for his back pain, and they gave him a bad injection. Somebody shoot him with a bad injection and he died. So this makes sense what this Trump was saying. While he was trolling my mother for his friend, me and my mother for his friend, Barack Carrick, who died this year of heart attack. They said, it was a police commissioner, and when my mother talked on WB11 News, Help Me Howard, the DAP section, in 2010, telling the TV station that the police removed me and my mother wrongfully, and she believed the police are terrorists for doing that. And this Bernard Carrick said, told the press after that some people are losers that live in a basement apartment. And since then, me and my mother was getting followed. Even a guy that promised to help in 2014, Eric Garner, his family started complaining was getting followed. And at the same place where I met Eric Garner, Bay Street and Victor Boulevard, around January 2014, to the place when I choke him dead, close to my birthday in July 2014. Before that, in March 2014, a house I rented where I hid evidence. I was planning to sue U.S. immigration for arresting me wrongfully in 2000 if I had a visa, and I came to the country with my mother, and so my Nigerian passport with the U.S. visa in it, I was going to use it to sue the U.S. immigration. I talked with a number of lawyers, but they told me they're not interested. You know, I emailed a number of lawyers. All of a sudden, a fire happened in that house on Bay Street, 219 Bay Street, Staten Island, 219 Canal Street, 219 Canal Street, Staten Island, New York, 10304. A fire happened, a mysterious fire, and burnt the house, and they wouldn't let me back in the house for many, many weeks. And when I finally went there, I noticed the one thing that disappeared from my luggage was my Nigerian passport with visa. So I guess to taunt me, so I won't be able to get, like the head of NYPD commissioner said some people are losers that live in basement with their mother. So they wanted me to make sure I lose everything. They started a fire. That landlord that owns the house is a Nigerian, and before the fire, he sent me a voicemail, and he was laughing. You know, that was the last message I got from him. A day later, there was a fire, and people were screaming that fire was purposely done by the landlord. Even the Standard in advance said they were getting a report that 219 Canal Street fire on March 19, 2024 was purposefully done. Standard in advance did the report. You know. So the address of the house is 219 Canal Street, and there was a fire on March 19. So I came into the country at 19 with my mother. So I believe that Nigerian landlord, you know, the police got in touch with him, the rogue police, and told him to blow up my house and do it on the 19th to remind me that it was done on purpose. I came to America at 19. I'm born July 8, 1981. I came to America around July 20, 2000. So if you minus 1981 from 2000, that's 19. And they killed my friend Eric Garner on July 17, around that neighborhood, 2014. I used to go to an American church, Bishop Jordan Ministries, and he used to say that July 17 is the same thing as 8. That God doesn't deal with double numbers, double digits. God always adds up double digits to arrive at a single digit. So I was born on July 8. Eric Garner was killed on July 17. According to Bishop Jordan Ministry in Harlem and Manhattan, July 17 same as July 8, because God would add 1 plus 7 to make 8. So they've been taunting me. They said criminals do that. They would talk and call to taunt the victim. You know, there was one guy that they call him the Long Island killer. I forgot his name. He was an architect, and said he would kill prostitutes, and he will take their cell phone of the dead prostitute and call the family of the dead prostitute and laugh and hang up. You know, I said, so they said killers or people that are criminals will sometimes taunt the victim, and to also further confirm that this Trump is trying to assassinate me because I have evidence of crimes is committed as it's not been prosecuted for. In July 23rd, 2019, I tried to use the bathroom at Prospect Park train station, Q train, and they put a thug there that was harassing me in the women's bathroom. So I left. I recorded while that thug was harassing me. I said, I'm going to post the video online. So I went to Bay Ridge and 4th Avenue. On my way to I took the Q train to DCAP and then got on the R to J Street. When I got to J Street, that's my normal itinerary. I'll go to J Street. You know, when I got to J Street, an MTA worker came around me and said, "You're done today. You're done today." So I brought out my phone and I requested that an MTA worker, I don't know who this, how he knows about me, just walked past me and said, "I'm done today." I said, "I believe that's a threat." Later that day, July 20, 2019, the police came and choked me. Almost choked me dead. You know, and then once and locked me up, stole my green card and everything. So these MTA workers, you know, I believe they know a lot, because You know, so this is the MTA worker. I see him a lot around the Standard Fair. I say hi to him, but doesn't say hi back. I think his name is Tramel Thompson. So the last time an MTA worker threatened me that you're done today, the police came and choked me in July 23, 2019 and almost killed me. So this guy sent him videos a lot. I sent him videos, but then I'll see him in person. I'll say hi to him, he won't say hi back. And he always records his own videos near the Standard Ferry.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. It was going. Nothing can stop me.
This, he always records his own videos. He said he advocates for his workers only, his co-workers. So this is him advocating. This is near the Standard Ferry. It's like a block away. I always see him where the guy that did the peace sign, number 2 sign. People do that to me a lot. I don't know what that means. I'm not trying to get married to anybody. I'm single, so I don't know what that 2 sign means, but they always do that to me a lot, And I see him here. This is the headquarters where the police van is. There's the headquarters. I always see him in this, He always walk past me. I'll say hi to him because I always beg for money around this area. And Standard Ferry is 1 block away. And the workers from the Statue of Liberty always try to beat me up. So I believe these MTA workers, they know a lot. They're close to the police. They work for this government. And I send them videos. The police are helping me. I'm being attacked, but he doesn't, he wouldn't respond to my videos. He said he only advocates for his co-workers. So in case anything happens to me, this is a death threat. This Trump has been saying he wants there to be a fight. And black Americans are jumping me. There's some black Americans don't like Africans. So I believe he's sending messages that he's going to pardon these people. They said on January 6th, he said that also to supporters. They should come to the White House and fight like hell. And he said his supporters came to the White House on January 6th, 2021 and killed many people. And they said and Trump came and pardoned his workers. January 6th insurrectionists. They said Trump came and pardoned them. He was about to be arrested also, Trump. January 6th, 2021. They said, was inciting the attack, he was directing telling his mob, his gang to come and fight like hell. And said many people died. I believe this black American police officer was one of the people that died. So they said this Trump is dangerous. I know some of the crimes he's committed. And, he's been saying he wants there to be a fight. Say in the park, near the White House. And there's where the Statue of Liberty workers always jump me. There's an American museum. Native American museum there. It looks like the White House over there. And this is where all this park walk, all these black Americans try to jump me. They work for the Statue of Liberty tour guide. And they always try to solicit customer, Native American Museum. In that place is like the White House. Oh, okay, there's a better video. Of this guy. So he always stands next. That's the statue of the Native American Museum. At the back of the elevator, it looks like the White House, right? In the background, you see him walking. That's called the Native American Museum. Let me try to freeze it. Oh, it's not gonna freeze. It looks like the White House, right? And the Statue of Liberty workers, tour guides always across all around this neighborhood when I go to shop in there's a Duane Reade on the left-hand side, and they always bring their Department of Homeland Security, Immigration, Enforcement people to park their car also. So that place is like this building in the background is like a White House. And this one said it wants there to be a fight in the White House. So a sending signal, and the Statue of Liberty workers are on the right-hand side. Where the trees are, that's where they wait for me. And they tell me, walk faster, nigga. We're going to bloody you up, men and women. Black American men and women working for Statue of Liberty, And they'll be punching me, I'll be running towards cars. They'll be chasing me in front of cars. There's the American flag around this neighborhood. So they said this Trump has been sending messages. There's a place that looks like the White House. And he criticized Trump a lot. And said he wants there to be a fight to the White House. I believe he sent a message to this black American to attack me there. He's calling that place as White House. It's not the White House. It's a Native American Federal Museum. The American, So you please, your legislature, Congress, U.S. Congress, and senators, please help me. I know I'm a Nigerian. I'm a transsexual. My life may not matter. My friend has been killed. My mother's been killed. My father's been killed. And I believe this Trump knows something about all these killings. And so please, I'm very, very much afraid that these MTA workers, they know a lot. And this guy posting a video, today, saying feds are scheming. The last time an MTA worker threatened me to my face, I got arrested that same day on July 20, 2019. So I believe, maybe send me this video on purpose, because under New York law, you can whistleblow. I always see him a lot. I always say hi to him while I'm begging for money, and he will ignore me and walk past me. So I don't know whether he's afraid for his own life. That's why, I was trying to play the video again. I think that that video is no longer playing. So he posted that video limited, where just so like he's trying to cover up something. Also, the video that played the song first came in trying to get at me. I ride for my niggas, dog. So that video put it on limited play. So that the video has been disappeared forever. So say people who always do that, if they put something on limited play like that, if they're trying to cover up something. I guess everybody's afraid that Martin Luther King was a civil rights activist assassinated by the FBI. His family found out late, and they could only sue and get $100 because it was too late to sue for more money. They could only use the North Carolina law because they said part of the plan to kill Martin Luther King was hatched in North Carolina, and under that law, when you sue late, you can only get $100. So this Trump Thompson, MTA worker, in case anything happens to me, he knows something, heard something. So they're using some black Americans as assassins to try to kill me. And they said this Trump, even from Trump's former lawyer Michael Cohen said this Trump is dangerous, and that he has killers working for him. And they said this Eric Adams also. That this Trump, they said once they're freed from court's criminal case of being bribed by the Turkish. So Trump said he wants that case dismissed. They said this Eric Adams also is close to the streets. So I believe him and Eric Adams, I criticize Eric Adams a lot, are passing the word to the streets that when Trump sends a code like that, say he wants there to be a fight in the White House, it's like we're talking about that African. Jump that African. There's some black Americans that have been jumping me. Also, I wear a red, I wear a pink, I wear a pink, this is me. I wear a pink hoodie. All of a sudden, this guy puts on a red jacket, and was saying something about that, assassination.
Black American.
It's another Instagram user. I always go on his account every day to watch his videos.
So I'm homeless on the street. My home was taken by the NYPD on Staten Island wrongfully. My mother's daughters, after I killed my mother, because they thought we were going to win a lot of money, me and my mother were going to win a lot of money, because me and my mother lived in that home. And they were going to, I sued, and they thought the daughters were going to, me and my mother were going to win a lot of money. So my mother said they were into an inheritance scam. They wanted to kill my mother.
So the audio may not be too clear. This was after I posted a video on Instagram. This was after I sent a message to the judge handling P. Diddy's case. After I sent a letter to the judge handling this case, you know, saying that I have information regarding the prosecution of P. Diddy, that some of the prosecution targeting these celebrities may be bribed. Now, that's not to say that P. Diddy didn't commit the offense, but it was just based on my conversation with the lawyer of Me Too, Gloria Allred, in which I told her that the NYPD took my home on Staten Island and sexually abused me, and my friend Arugana was helping with the court papers to sue the NYPD for sexual abuse and taking my home, and the NYPD went and took Arugana dead. And this girl already said she can't help me with the sexual abuse case from that the NYPD abused me. You know, so if she does that, the feds and the NYPD will drop a lot of these celebrity cases. Our office is referring to them. You know, won't help them anymore. So she said she admitted she has to bribe the feds and police to arrest the celebrities to make money for her client. So I immediately contacted the PDD lawyer judge. His name is Aaron. I don't know how to pronounce his name very good, but I'm going to show you the email I sent to the judge handling PDD's case. You know, I'm going to show you the video I sent to the judge handling PDD's case. You know. So, yeah, this is the name of the judge. Judge Submariner. I don't pronounce his name good. Which I told him I'm a Nigerian transsexual. I need an intervention in the matter. I want to intervene as a witness, a amicus witness, which is a friend of the court witness. You know, I'm saying I'm homeless on the street, and I try to get a lawyer to help me. The Me Too lawyer, Gloria Allred, and she can't help me, that she's bribing the police to arrest celebrities at the moment, you know, for sexual abuse, and she helps me. The police and the FBI will drop all these cases. You know, like, it's like she's almost admitting that the police and the FBI don't have confidence in all these cases in the first place, and she has to bribe them. You know, and this judge never got back to me. And the trial of PDD continued, and now they said they found him guilty. You know, so I believe that's why this Instagram user posted the video immediately. I sent this email on June 27, and that Instagram user posted a video immediately wearing red, like it's PDD. You know, with the glasses on like PDD, and you know, doing it sound like a gun, because this PDD is dangerous, and they say he likes to kill witnesses. But I didn't say anything favorable to him, really. What I basically said was I contacted the PDD lawyer to let them know I have information that could help their client, and his PDD lawyer, one of them is Tenny Gregaros, and the other one I can't pronounce the name right now. You know, I said they didn't get back to me, so I'm saying I think these lawyers are playing a game in which they want me died first by Trump, and then they can see if Trump will pardon the PDD, because this Trump said he wants to pardon PDD. So, you know, look into it, or they fear even if Trump gets me killed, they can then go to court. I was an important witness, I wasn't allowed to testify, and so there's a mistrial and get PDD out. You know, that I had information that some of the prosecutors were being bribed to go after celebrities. So they want to ignore me till I die first, you know, because I guess they're just playing a chess game. And so this TPDD was telling the judge, thank you. He was kneeling down, was so happy, you know, to be guilty. So there must be something that they know. You know, it's like they're almost sure that Trump is going to pardon him, because this Trump has been saying, you know, is willing to consider pardoning PDD. You know, so this guy, I think he talks about me on his Instagram post. I always watch his. I'm being watched by the FBI, and there's a lot of hackers that see what I'm watching also. They say the FBI is currently has a lot of leakers that leak to the streets, whatever the FBI is doing. So this guy, he always posts videos. I think he talks about me a lot. You know, but you know, And then he dressed like P. Diddy. I wear red, he wears red also. I wear pink, he wears red jacket also. And I was doing it. P. Diddy always wear glasses. And he said it's allegedly is violent and goes after people to kill or whatever. So a lot of people are afraid of him. So this guy started saying, check me out, like P. Diddy. P. Diddy, that's the hip hop language. Check me out. P. Diddy will talk like that. And he's doing something like a gun, He's wearing his glasses, as soon as I posted the video, by as soon as I sent a letter to the judge on June 27, by July 30, this guy, I was on Instagram again, and I saw this guy dressed like P. Diddy. I think he talks about me in his post also. This guy, well, they said there's a speech in America, a former speech in America called, Nando, you can be talking about somebody and just make it look like, just talking in general, while you're really talking about somebody. I don't know why they're not bold enough to directly, but some people just don't want to deal with the court process and they rather gossip from afar. I think that's like a adrenaline boost for them to be, they just don't want to be invited to court. So a lot of these black Americans, they're acting weird, so they have the information but they just don't want to deal with the court process, and that's not right. To not care about human life and the life of African, they said they love black Americans when they were being enslaved. Nobody cared about them either. So for us foreigners, it's like, screw us. My mother's dead, my father God is dead. This is what I'm going through. So I hope the world can watch this. And all, So I see this guy a lot also in Manhattan, and walk past me like every day. And when I say hi to him, I say hi back. He always shoot this video where the black Americans jumping. And he just posted a video, he gave it a limited view only, saying fed, scheming, trying to get at me, which is like hinting, that, I'm gonna get killed in this neighborhood. So a lot of black Americans jumping around this neighborhood. And this Trump said he wants there to be a fight. And as this guy records around this neighborhood. And this, the building in the background is the North American Museum. It's a federal facility, and it looks like the White House. The first impression when I saw that building was like, wow, this is like the White House. I've never been to the White House, but it looks like a White House, the same technology, the pillar and stuff. And this Trump has been affirming that he wants there to be a fight in the White House. He wants there to be a fight in the White House. And so some black American workers, the Statue of Liberty is towards this guy's right. Where the trees are planted, that's where the Statue of Liberty is, the river there. So the workers always hide near the underneath those trees. And I walk past there all the time, and they always circle the whole neighborhood. Anytime they see me, say, walk faster, nigga. We'll bloody you up, men, women, of the black American workers. They just try to jump me, chase me from a moving car. So when I call the police won't help me. So this is what is going on. And in 2020, after I came out of the psychiatric hospital where the police had arrested me, locked me up in 2019, then there was COVID, and Trump was saying people should drink bleach to cure COVID. But there was another incident after when I was in immigration proceedings. I started drinking apple cider vinegar raw and applying it on my body because I was new to America. And I believe the apple cider vinegar, they said it cures all kinds of diseases, and I was having diarrhea and stuff, so I was drinking the apple cider vinegar raw, applying to my body, mostly my rectum. They said it helps cure, it helps cure all kinds of bad bacteria, and it scarred my rectum. I had to call 911. So it was just a stupid thing I did. I don't even know why, so I was applying the apple cider vinegar. I would drink it, and I will apply it to my rectum. They say it kills bad bacteria, in your back area. So it was just a stupid thing I did, and I almost died from it. I started bleeding from my rectum, so I called 911. I'm bleeding from my rectum, I need police, I need an emergency. So they took me to the hospital, St. Vincent Hospital on Staten Island, but the first was listening, so I guess they told this Trump that I sometimes do stupid stuff like that. So this Trump in 2020 said, drink bleach, bleach is gonna cure you, okay? Don't worry about COVID anymore, just drink bleach. I said, a lady drank bleach in Florida, and she died right away. I almost drank bleach, because I'm into alternative therapy. So this Trump has been trying to get me killed, and it's very worried if he comes out of the office in the next 4 years, I'm still around, the prosecutor may pick up the case in New York, and have me testify against him. And he has nowhere to run because he have already spent all his 8 years. He can't run for president again. So it's in a hurry. He's been deporting immigrants like crazy since January, like he's on, on a time limit. And he's been saying he wants to be president forever. So I believe a lot of people are aware of the death threat to my life. My mother has been killed. My friend of God has been killed. My father has been killed. I have information about this Trump. So please, your U.S. Congress need to investigate this. This is the latest threat this Trump issued, saying he wants there to be a fight in the White House. UFC White House. You see? So he wants there to be a fight in the White House, and under the law, when you're inciting a racial mob, there's a new law Kamala signed, because she was the Democrat senator, and she was also the vice president. So I think she had to resign as a senator or something like that to become vice president. But she was still, because the Congress was always tied, so the vice president will always, between the Republican and the Democrat. So she always breaks the tie by voting. So she signed that law called the Racial Mob Law, Racial Lynching, Anti-Lynch Law in 2021, that says anyone that incites a mob to go after somebody, shall be charged with lynching and that mob. So this Trump, is, this is unlawful, trying to incite a assassination. They said a lot of black Americans were killed during this way, whereby whites would jump them, and now he's trying to get black Americans to jump me. So this is why they said the White House is planning to host a fight next year. Why are they talking about this now? Why are they talking about this now? Why is it in a hurry? I believe they're inciting the mob to attack me, because there's a place near the looks like the White House, at the background where this guy always seems, walk past me. And when I say hello to him, he won't say hello back. I always beg for money around there. I always send videos to him online also. And just posted a video saying mob scheming, try to get on him. And the background building there is the place that looks like the White House. It's called the Native American Museum. It's a federal facility. It's a museum for Native Americans. So this is what is going on.